So I've been married. We've been married now. We've been married now since March the 8th, right? Which is shy of, wait a minute, might be 6 weeks now. Whatever the day is. It hasn't been very long. And already I've learned some things that I thought that, I just figured I knew it all and it is what it is, right? But one thing that I've learned that I wanted to pass along to you guys, and the reason I jumped on is because initially, guys, when you get married, your emotions are your emotions, right? And it takes a lot for me to just deal with myself. And when I say that, I'm not talking about deal with myself as if I don't love myself and I'm a lot. I love myself. I literally like myself. I really do. I think I'm a dope person, right? But when I say a lot to deal with myself, I'm coming to a realization that I have to control my emotions as well as he have to control his emotions, which means that we need to take care of ourselves before we can take care of each other, right? Before we can take care of one another. And I say that to say that I was looking at Keon Henderson, Pastor Keon Henderson this morning, and he was talking about, that we give so many people in our lives so much power, and then we look to blame people for how we act. And initially he was saying, but you're your peace, right? And it took me back to thinking about how I always say to you guys that we have so much power within ourselves. I just did a video 2 days about it, that we don't know the power we carry. And since we have God himself, the Spirit of God inside of us, and we quote this scripture that God will give us perfect peace, then we should understand that we are the source to our peace, right? And that's nothing like he said this morning, but it was my realization that we are the source to our peace. If I want peace, I have to be peace. Come on, somebody. I have to work on the peace within myself. I can't be somebody's peace if I don't have that peace within me. And having the Spirit of God inside of us means that we should be able to have peace about ourselves. We shouldn't be a roaring fire. We shouldn't be argumentative all the time. We shouldn't be trying to make people be what we want them to be. We have enough to deal with ourselves. And when I began to listen to him talk this morning and I began to think about that, I was like, oh my God, I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to do. And I think that revelation came to me this morning because in order for marriages to last, in order for our marriage to last, I have to work on me, right? We have to work on ourselves individually so that we can understand that marriage is just not about the joy we can bring to each other, but the joy that we have on the inside of us has to exude. It has to come out of us so that we can have a peaceful, joyful marriage. So I wanted to jump on and give you that because it's always good to give nuggets to people that are newly married or have been married for years, because one of my biggest fears is that what if we get bored with each other? What if things get mundane? And you see so many people outgrow each other and they change and they get divorced. And it's like, why don't people stay together, right? Why can't we make it work? And it just came back to me is because we're not working on ourselves, right? And one of the things is that I think is very critical that I always praise my husband about is him being attentive and seeing different things and noticing things. One of the biggest things I think is that not only does it make a hell of a difference for a man to be attentive and know the changes, but for the woman to notice as well, because what happens is that when people outgrow each other, it's because they haven't been paying attention to each other. So one of the things I'm hoping that will make our marriage last forever is that we will constantly be attentive to one another. So as he grow, I grow. As I grow, he grows, right? But the most important thing is, out of this whole thing that I've said today, is this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is that we have to be our own peace and we have to take care of our own emotions, right? Nobody else is responsible for how we react, how we respond, how we initially come at our partners. It's a whole lot of work. And just talking about it, I almost feel overwhelmed because I realized that God allows us to go through certain situations so that we can learn from it. Everything is a learning experience because we have to constantly evolve and grow because of how powerful we are as individuals and as beings. And so, yeah, I got a lot of work to do because when God told me, and I shared with you guys the other day that God said it's time to progress, I ain't see it like I see it now. That it's, yeah, when you look at yourself, you realize that you got a lot of work to do to be what you need to be in the earth, because God is everything, so we everything, and we got to learn how to coincide and how to be that everything in peace so that we can just be better. That's it. This is Dr. Michelle. You guys have a blessed one. Peace.